could have sworn there were Raven Guard transfers on these sheets. Looks like I'm gonna have to freehand it. Welcome to 5 Minute Marine. Look at him, mocking me with his free-handed heraldry. So we start this sneaky beaky with me losing the footage of me painting Black Legion contrast over a zenithal highlight. I did this identically on my Deathwatch Dark Angel, covering everything save for the white areas. He has white arms and helmet because he is a veteran. I go over the white areas with Vallejo Wolf Grey. It is a light grey with a subtle blue hint. Like with most Vallejo paints, I prefer to use the air version. These are already thinned considerably and require much less fannying about with before you get them on the model. 2 thin coats, naturally. I'm not a savage. I paint the metallic sparingly. Given the furtive nature of these boys, it doesn't help to have too much bling, does it? I get the blades, mechanism and pommel on his chainsword, the muzzle and ammo clip on his pistol, and on the main body the pipes on his mask, any trinkets on his belt, and the vents on his backpack. I slap on a little black wash-off camera, and now he is at least tournament ready with 3 colours on him. He has some leather pouches on his belt which get 2 thin coats of Dryad bark by Citadel. This covers the black nicely. Raven Guard wear their company colours on their right shoulder rim only. I chose Mephiston Red as a solid colour pop. I think it means he's from the 3rd company. I grab my light grey panel liner and go over the white areas. The effect came out a bit too subtle for my liking, probably being too close to the wolf grey it was going over. But that's okay, I sort it out later, and I really liked the glaze effect it had. The good thing about Black Legion is that it shows you exactly where the highlights ought to be. I thinned Mechanica Standard Grey and followed the edges where the contrast showed me they were needed. Let me just say, as someone who can ruin a brush just by looking at it, this Artificer Extra Small Layer Brush from Citadel has lasted me a solid 7 years and shows no sign of stopping. Sable hair brushes are totally worth the extra cost. Saying that, I am notorious for buying packs of cheap brushes off of Amazon. Go figure. I then realised that a really good way to shade the white areas was to thin the grey even more and paint it into the recesses of the white armour. Thus the highlight for my black is the same colour as the shade for my white. I contemplated whether this was a stroke of genius or just that I was too lazy to dig out another grey. It was clearly the first one. I chose Wazdaka Red to highlight the red shoulder trim. Oh, I painted the eye lenses too. The leather gets a highlight of thinned Army Painter Oak Brown. The first layer is a little too transparent and doesn't show up well on the camera, so I gave it another layer. And now the dreaded freehand. I use a pencil to mark out the basic skeleton of the icon. Then I grabbed Vallejo Grey Primer and started dabbing it on around the markings. I didn't worry about being neat, but it took 2 coats of the primer to make the first layer opaque over the black. I knew that using a transfer on the other shoulder pad would make my work on the icon stand out even more, so I decided to freehand the assault symbol on his right shoulder too. You know, I could have sworn there were Raven Guard transfers on the decal sheets with the Firstborn Marine kits. Iron hands are missing from them too. To my eye, the basic Vallejo Black is a good match for Black Legion contrast. I start to tidy up the symbols, redefining their edges with the black, then the grey primer again. Also, you can see that I chose to do a variation of the assault markings. This was mainly to make it easier to read, but I kind of like how these look. So yeah, it's basically alternating the grey and black, covering little mistakes and reinforcing details ad nauseum. Finally, the basing. As always, a black rim, followed by a fluffy coat of Vallejo snow texture. I think the whites contrast nicely with the mostly black mini and accentuates that little pop of red on the shoulder pad. But before I show you a montage of the finished result, can I just ask you to give this video a like, consider subscribing to our channel, and maybe sharing this video with anyone you think might like it. Take care, and we'll catch you again here on Bleeding Tree Gaming.